Hello and welcome back to Maths. We're going to start off with this starter. Please make sure you've got your pen and paper to the ready. Fill this in and unpause the video when you are ready to hear the solutions. So these are my part whole models. If the whole is 3.2 kilograms and one part is 2,000 grams, well, I'm going to need to convert between grams and kilograms. So I can think of it either as that as being 3,200 grams or that as being 2 kilograms, and that should help me. The answer is... why isn't it? If we move that to 2 kilograms, that's 1.2 kilograms. So 25 metres, but I've got this as 2,000 centimetres. Well, I know that 2,000 centimetres, I need to think about how I get from centimetres to metres by dividing by 100. So 2,000 centimetres is the same as 20 metres. That means my other part is 5 metres. What is 4.3 litres in millilitres? I am multiplying by 1,000, that's 4,300. 43 litres in millilitres, again multiplying by 1,000, 43,000. 70 millimetres in centimetres, here I need to multiply by 10. Divide by 10, because centimetres are bigger. So 77 millimetres will be 7.7 centimetres. Today we're going to be converting between miles and kilometres. What is the difference? Do you know already? Miles. We have them in our country. If you see them on the motorway, these numbers here represent how many miles away something is. Kilometres, often used in the rest of the world really. I think America might use miles as well, but Europe, most other places, they will use kilometres. So we need to know how to use both, as we are probably going to come across both in our lives. How are they the same? How are they different? So 5 miles, some squiggly line, 8 kilometre. What does that mean, do you think? Well, if you guessed is roughly, it basically means it's not equal to, but it's about 8 kilometres. We're going to round it and say 5 miles is about 8 kilometres. It's not exactly, that's why they're not straight lines. And here's a bar model which explains that. So 5 miles is slightly less, you can see, than 8 kilometres, but there's not much of a difference in it. So looking at this bar model, is 1 mile greater than or less than 1 kilometre? Is 1 mile greater than or less than 2 kilometres? And is 5 kilometres greater or less than 8 miles? Fill that in and pause when you're ready to hear the solution. So a mile is bigger than a kilometre, you can see here. A mile is less than 2 kilometres though. 2 kilometres worth more than 1 mile. 5 kilometres are less than 8 miles. Remember, 1 kilometre is less than 1 mile, so 5 kilometres is going to be a lot less than 8 miles. So if 5 kilometres is roughly, if 5 miles is roughly 8 kilometres, what are 10 miles going to be in kilometres roughly? Well, I've got to do the same. So I've doubled my number of miles, so I also need to double my number of kilometres. So it's 16 kilometres. So counting in 5s here, 5, 10, 15. How many kilometres am I going to have here? And here. Have a think and unpause when you're ready to listen on. That's 24 and 32 because I'm counting in 8s. But what about here? 4 kilometres. That's half of 8, isn't it? So what am I going to do here? I have to find half of 5, which is 2.5. Try and figure this one out. We know what 4 kilometres is, so see if that can help us figure out how many miles we need. Well, to get from 4 to 20, if I count in 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, that's 5 times. So I multiply 4 by 5, I need to do the same by 2.5. Multiply that by 5 will give me 12.5. Or you could have added 4 and 16 together. So if 5 miles is about 8 kilometres, 40 miles must be about how many kilometres? How am I going to solve this? See if you can have a think and unpause when you're ready to hear the solution. Can I just add 35 to both of them? Because 5 add 35 is 40. So if I do 8 add 35, is that going to give me the correct answer? Is it about 43 kilometres? Hopefully you're telling me no, I can't just add 35. I need to think of a rule. So how am I going to get from 5 to 40? I'm thinking about multiplying. I'm multiplying by 8. 5 times 8 is 40. So here I'm going to have to do 8 times 8, which is 64 kilometres. So 40 miles is about 64 kilometres. Now, if I can think about 40 kilometres, what would that be in miles? How am I going to solve this? Thinking about how many times 8 goes into 40. That's 25 miles. 8 goes into 40 how many times? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. That's 5 times. So I also need to multiply 5 by 5 to get to 25 miles. And how many kilometres here? Have a think about that. Well, to find out what my miles are, I've multiplied 5 miles by 1,000. So I also need to multiply 8 kilometres by the same amount, which is 1,000, which will leave me with 8,000 kilometres. Okay, have a go at questions 1 to 5 on the worksheet and pause this video. And when you're ready, come back and listen to the end, please. So, this is a graph which is plotted, which shows you the relationship between miles and kilometres. And if you can pick anywhere and figure out the equivalent. I want to know how many kilometres are equal to 18 miles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find 18 miles, and my miles are along the bottom. And I'm going to find where that is, and I'm going to go up until I get to the red line, and then look across to see how much that is in kilometres. So up to the red line and across, and hopefully you can read out that the answer is 29 kilometres. So have a go at these two by yourself. Find this many miles and this many kilometres. Read across or read down and find out what the answers are. I'll give you a second to have a think about that. So the first one, we're looking for 12 miles. I'm going to have a look across until I get to 12 on the miles axis, that's the x-axis. And then I'm going to read across to the y-axis, which is where kilometres are. My answer is about 19 kilometres. Now I'm figuring out how many miles is 10 kilometres, so I'm going to find 10 on the y-axis. Read along to the red line, then go down. And that looks like it's roughly 6 miles. Okay. In Italy, the motorway speed limit is 130 kilometres an hour. In the UK, the motorway speed limit is 70 miles per hour. In which country is the speed limit higher? So I need to be able to convert between the two. Have a think about how I could do this. So there are two ways. You can either change 70 miles an hour to kilometres an hour and then compare the two, or you can change 130 kilometres an hour to miles per hour and then you can compare the two that way. We know that 5 miles is roughly 8 kilometres. So we can work it out. 70 miles is roughly how many kilometres? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 70 by 5 to see how many miles times 5 miles fits in. And that goes in 14 times. 5 times 14 is 70. What do you think I'm going to do now to figure out the kilometres? I've got to do the same to my kilometres that I've done to the miles. I need to also multiply that by 14. So 8 times 14 is 112 kilometres. So does that answer my question? In which country is the speed limit faster? The speed limit is faster in Italy because 70 miles per hour is roughly 112 kilometres an hour, and 130 kilometres an hour is faster than that. Anyway, that's the end of today's lesson. We'll be looking more at different imperial units tomorrow. Any questions, again, put them on the blog post if you don't quite understand, or you can ask something in Teams if you get stuck on any of the answer questions. Good luck with this, guys, and speak to you soon. Bye!